Student clients, welcome back to another edition of the NMS e-learning systems YouTube channel, brought to you by the DLA Guru.
Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. The DLA Guru is back in the building. Back in the building, yes indeed. On this beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning here in St. Louis, Missouri, hailing from St. Louis. I'm really excited about today's scheduled live stream. This is my bi-monthly live stream that's designed specifically for my Brigadier General level members and my Patreon community, where we'll be able to talk everything and anything and everything related to the DLA in our closed circuit classroom setting via StreamYard this morning. But as you guys who are my subscribers and followers who watch a lot of my video content know, today, before diving into the closed circuit information session, I always like to give a little bit back to the community as it relates to some things that I think will definitely help to 10x your journey in doing federal contracting, specifically with the Defense Logistics Agency. So I have a fantastic presentation lined up for you guys today. I'm really looking forward to today's session because I think, it's like one of these things I keep getting all these questions related to, how do you really leverage working with vendors and sourcing products and trying to figure out how to find your lane and doing business with the DLA. So I have student clients that take my master classes that kind of get a little bit of the insight and the cliff notes and the hacks and how to really leverage this type of information. And then, of course, we have a lot of folks that are in the YouTube University community that also take advantage of the content that's out there, and they kind of like to skin their knee and bump their head along the way. But the overarching question is really, hey, how in the world do we develop relationships with vendors? Because you'll find when you get into the federal contracting space, it can be a very, you need to know or who you know that can kind of give you access to a lot of the products that the U.S. military as well as the federal government wants when they're putting out those solicitations. So fantastic today, great presentation. So as you guys know, I'll spend about maybe 20 minutes or so going through my presentation, and I'll open up the chat to accept any and all types of questions related just from the public space, now within reason. And I'll do my best to field some of those questions, but it really will behoove you to click the link that you'll find in the chat. I pinned in the chat. You'll have to basically invest in yourself, invest in my content, invest in me, and become a Brigadier General level member. So I'm inviting you guys to take that plunge. If you have anything related to the DLA, specifically to your company, where you may have a solicitation, some national stock numbers, or you want to talk strategy, today is that day, because I'll be available for 2 hours for all of my paid members who are, again, part of my Brigadier General here on YouTube. And for those of you who have graduated from my master class and have taken the additional investment in getting involved with my Patreon community, of course, I'll be available for you guys as well. But before diving into my presentation today, I see a few comments in the chat already. Fantastic to you. I love the engagement. I love it. Thank you. All right, let me see. We got Jaquel White is in the building. Jaquel, thank you. You are my very first comment today. This states, I love this great content. I'm going to be investing with you as soon as I get some more contracts awarded. So it sounds to me, Jaquel, that you have achieved some contracts. Hey, do me a favor. Drop in the chat how many awards that you've gotten to date and how long you've been working with the DLA. It'd be fantastic to kind of know a little bit more about you. And that way, some other folks that are looking at the content can really see who you are. And you might be able to do some networking and some connecting there in the chat as well. So thank you for your very first comment there. And we also got Sherry Johnson hailing this morning. Good morning. I'm here. Hey, Sherry, welcome. And it looks like you are definitely part of our CMCC community. I see the icon that's by your name there. So it looks, I think you might be a commander level. So welcome to congratulations on the investment in some of those commander level member videos that I have closed circuit just for commander levels. But as you'll know, there's only a couple of videos in that side of it. And if you see any value in that, Sherry, I recommend you upgrading to the Brigadier General level membership, because there are about 15 or 16 more videos that are just action packed with content that I think will definitely help to 10x your business. So I definitely welcome you to upgrade whenever you feel the need, in order to assist you with 10x in your experience and your journey with the DLA. And I really appreciate that comment. So thank you there. And by the way, guys, for those of you who are like chiming in, feel free to drop where you're located, your city, state, and zip, because I always kind of like to know, the reach of my content and where you guys in my DLA vendor network, where you guys are located, because you never know, you might find somewhere in the comment section there that might be in your city and state. And you guys might be able to link and connect and talk anything and everything related to the DLA. All right, fantastic. So let me go ahead and dive into a little bit of today's presentation. Top 5 ways to build your product vendor base. That is, one of many $1 million questions as it relates to federal contract, and specifically here in the DLA space, because the DLA is really particular about the types of products that they are procuring in support of the warfighter. So you have to have access to the knowledge base and to those vendors and to the information and those products, and in order to supply those products competitively at a competitive price and availability to the DLA. So today's presentation will hopefully help you 10x that opportunity and learn a little bit more about that and some of the things I think will definitely benefit you. So top 5 ways to build your vendor database. But before getting into my presentation, of course, you guys got to know a little bit about me. For those of you who are new to me, new to my content, my name is Kiwi Hendricks. I am the U.S. government sales manager with the National Material Supply Company. And I have been in this space for over 20 years, servicing primarily the federal government, and by way of the U.S. military through the Defense Logistics Agency. I have a lot of knowledge. I've skipped my knee, bumped my head enough over the past 20 years or so to coin the name the DLA Guru. So there isn't too much I haven't seen in the DLA space. Now, I'm not going to say I'm the end-all, be-all solution, but there is probably not many questions that I can't answer. And the more you guys get to know me, know my content, or if you even book in the one-on-ones or even taking advantage of my master classes, you will definitely see that I am the truth in this space. So welcome to my YouTube channel for those of you who are new. And if you are chiming in, taking a look at this live stream, if you want to drop me a comment, guess what? You're going to have to subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. We broke the 2,000 subscriber mark a couple of weeks ago, which is fantastic in this space. And so I want to really thank all of you who are subscribers to my channel. And it just means a lot to me. I mean, we got a long way to go, like in this space. I mean, there are some content creators in this space that have tens of thousands of subscribers that are tuning in and tapping into their content. So I really appreciate your subscriptions, especially if you're really loving the content, because I get a ton of people watching my videos, but not a lot of people subscribing to the channel. I think the last time I checked, I probably am approaching 100,000 views of my videos in my catalog, and I've been doing this for a little over a year. So just for the amount of time that I've been in the space, there's a lot of folks receiving and consuming the content, but they're not hitting the subscribe button. So please, I always stress it in all my videos to subscribe, because it really means a lot to me. It helps my channel grow and helps the YouTube algorithm spread my content to a bigger and broader audience, to introduce people into federal contracting community, as well as getting them the ins and outs and understanding and knowledge base on how to do business with the DLA. And by all means, please hit that like button. Looks like I got 3 concurrent likes and 3 likes and 10 concurrent viewers in the building. So thank you for the viewers, the eyes and ears on the content. So feel free to hit that like button if you like the DLA Guru. Hey, guess what? It means a lot to me. Make sure that you like me. And I always love to have some likes and parity to the number of viewers out there in the space. And by all means, as you guys know, drop me some comments in the chat there, and I will be sure to throw them on the screen, and we'll talk anything and everything related to your comments. So don't be shy. Get engaged. Let me know who you are. And by all means, share this content to friends, family members, business colleagues, folks that you think could definitely benefit from kind of getting the first row seat to the DLA guru and everything that I'm talking about related to federal contracting and how to change the trajectory of your business by getting involved in the federal contracting space. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And last but not least, hit that notification bell, because a lot of folks say, hey, I never knew you were going live. I never saw this. I never saw that. Well, maybe because you didn't hit the notification bell. Make sure you hit that notification button and say, notify me of all posts from the DLA guru. Trust me, I'm not going to destroy and ping your phone and you're going to have pop-ups all the time, because I probably try to do a little bit of content once or twice a week. So, I won't overwhelm your phone with all the dings and things, but at least you'll have notification, because you never want to be a day late and a dollar short for what the DLA guru is cooking here in the DLA kitchen. All right, fantastic. So you are here because you want to know what are the top 5 ways, coming from my perspective, my point of view, to build your product vendor base. And I thought it would be kind of cool to go ahead and dive into this, because there are just, you wouldn't believe how many emails and questions that I get regarding this. And, there are some hacks. There are ways to do it. And my plan today is to kind of give you a very high level 35,000 view up, so you'll kind of get a little bit of an understanding. And if you want to do a deeper dive, hey, make sure you connect with me, because talking with me can definitely change the trajectory of your business. Once I learn a little bit more about you and where you're going with it, I'm sure I can add some value to your journey. But the first thing, and these are not in any order of priority, they're just some thoughts that I was kind of thinking about this all week. And I said, yeah, you know what? I think these are the top 5 things that I've kind of just got underneath my belt in the past 20 years or so. But the first thing is, you want to focus. You guys wouldn't believe how many people reach out to me and they're kind of like all over the place. Hey, I want to do medical supplies. Hey, I want to get into vehicle parts. I want to get into whatever is going to make me rich, And so I always say, I don't think that that's going to be your best approach, because you want to focus. You want to have a myopic view on how you can support the warfighter. Never think about how the warfighter is going to support you. Think about how you can support the warfighter, because if you're able to focus on products that you know something about, that's where you're really getting into that competitive advantage. Because one, you're going to have a little bit of a knowledge base about it. You're going to be passionate about it. And you're really going to want to be a subject matter expert, a SME in that space. So I always recommend that you want to consider 1 to 2 product categories when you first get involved with the DLA. And even for those of you who are seasoned DLA vendors, you may want to just kind of have a real focus on 1 or 2 categories. And in the federal contracting with the DLA space, those product categories are called federal supply classes. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch the screen and show you an example of what that looks like. All right, so in the SAM.gov space, there are PSC codes. So PSC and FSC are not to be confused. They're not the same thing, right? PSC codes are product service codes in the service side of SAM.gov, but in the DLA side, the U.S. military cares about the FSC code, which stands for Federal Supply Class. And what you'll see on this website, again, there are many websites out there. This is one that I recommend you take a look at. Just kind of Google it, Federal Supply codes, and you'll probably see this is probably number 1 in the search results. But this particular website just gives you kind of an idea of the 4-digit codes that govern the different product categories that the U.S. military cares about. And for those of you who understand national stock numbers, or if you've never heard of what an NSN is or never heard the terminology, a national stock number are 13 digits. And the first 4 digits of the national stock number are the Federal Supply Class code. So here, when you're I'm just going to scroll briefly just through here, and you'll see these 4-digit codes that cover all these different areas. And it may behoove you to just do search in this area here, or one of these websites, and to kind of, you can even do a keyword search. So let's say that you're really good. You've been working as a firefighter for many years, or you worked in law enforcement, or you may have worked let's say just a corporate job where you may have been like on the legal side, and so you're familiar with paper cuts and office supplies and things like that. You literally are able to throw any of those types of products that you guys may know about into this search field, and you can find the corresponding 4-digit federal supply class that's associated with that type of product. And once you kind of have what those FSC codes are, that's when you'll, just kind of jot them down and say, okay, great. I want to just focus on these 2 classes because I know these like I know nothing else. And that's when you take that over into the DLA space, and then you begin to build a business around that. All right. So this is a very good start, understanding what your FSC code is. Okay, let's switch back over to my presentation. Cool. So that's the very first thing, focus, because you don't want to just spread yourself so thin, because the DLA, they award over 10,000 contracts every single day, guys, right? And there are hundreds of thousands of solicitations that are out on DIBBS at any given time. And you can have what's called information overload, analysis paralysis, because you're trying to go here and go there and go everywhere, and you're just missing the boat on what you can focus on, where you have the emotion tied to it, you have the experience, and you have potentially access to those types of products. You start there, and then you build it from there, right? So that's my, one thing that I think is great to build your product vendor base. All right. And then also, when you reach out to those particular manufacturers in that space, within those federal supply classes, when you're talking to them, you'll be able to have the right vernacular. A lot of folks can tell when you're just kind of building it while you fly it. And a lot of people don't want to waste time. They want to make some money, and they want to make money with people who are SMEs, subject matter experts in those product categories. So just keep that in mind. That's a little bit of a hack as it relates to how you build your product vendor base. Number 2, you want to source. You want to source. We consider our company as a lead sourcing integrator. When you're in the product side of federal contracting, you never know what the U.S. government wants at any given moment, but they know what they want, right? And so they know what they want, and they issue it, whether it be on SAM.gov or DIBBS, as solicitations. And so they will tell you, the government really does not like you trying to sell them things. They'll tell you exactly what they want to buy, and you just have to be able to sell to them exactly what they want to buy. So in order to do that, you want to be able to have some aptitude on how to source effectively. There are a ton of databases out there, different websites that you can potentially search for online. And I also recommend that you look in your backyard. For those of you who have connected with me one-on-one, I always talk about your backyard. And what I mean by that is in your community. You want to find a way to network with vendors in your community, in your city, in your zip code, or within a 20-mile radius of where your office is set up, because it's something about having access, the physical contact with your vendors who you might be able to work with and forge relationships in order to build your product vendor base. So being able to have the ability to source, and of course, partnering with content creators like me, where you're doing consulting services, I should say, where I'm offering consulting services to you, will definitely assist with giving you some the know-how or the steps or the right approach, because it's a dance. You don't want to go and drop the ball and saying the wrong thing or not knowing how to properly engage with a potential vendor. And coaching will definitely help you in that arena. So sourcing, I think, is going to be paramount. Number 3, outreach. You want to have outreach. Don't be shy. Don't be shy when you are approaching vendors. You don't want to just hide behind a keyboard. You don't want to just send emails, or, hey, I sent an email, they never responded, or I left a voicemail, they never called back. This is tough, I give up. No, you have to find different ways to connect with your vendor. You can never take no for an answer. All right. And so connecting with your vendors are going to be paramount in building your product vendor base. All right. So number 1, focus on what types of products you want to sell. What do you have some knowledge base on? What can you consider yourself a subject matter expert? And for those of you who are like, hey, I've never sold products, I have no idea. Well, hey, what types of products do you like? What do you consume? Things that you consume may be an area where the U.S. military is looking to consume those types of products as well. So there are just so many different ways that you can peel the banana peel back to kind of figure out what your focus should be. And then, of course, building from that. Sourcing, you want to be able to effectively source vendors that can assist you with your journey, and then having the right approach, the right types of processes and strategies for outreaching, connecting with your vendors on a very personal level. You know, you want to be, people do business with people they know, like, and trust, as you guys will always hear me talk about. But that is so true in the federal contracting space. Whether you're doing service-based contracts or product-based contracts, it's all about connections to people, because people are behind all of this. You know, this federal contracting engine is all about people. All right, cool. Let me pivot real quick, because we got some questions that are popping up, and I always like to get some questions here. Jaquel says, hey, I got a big question. If I want to use other manufacturers that make the same part as the approved source, does the manufacturer have to have a cage code in order to do business with them? And the short answer to that is no. They do not have to have a cage code. And believe it or not, Jaquel, that's actually a great position to be in, because typically, if a company doesn't have a cage code, that means they're not your direct competition. You know, so they're not going to be in the federal contracting space. So it would behoove you to connect with me, and I can give you some ideas of how you might be able to leverage finding a manufacturer that's willing to work with your company, and how you can come up with systems and a process and an approach and a philosophy, a business philosophy, on how you can connect with them and be able to offer their products to the DLA. So fantastic question. And it's great that you're able to find manufacturers that don't have cage codes. That is probably one of the biggest hacks as it relates to, DLA contracting, finding the vendors that don't necessarily want to compete directly with you for those DLA contracts. So fantastic there. Oh, let's see, Jaquel, she has another question. I'm sure I can learn in your course, but what about traceability as well? If a contract calls for a Caterpillar, I guess CAT means Caterpillar equipment, and I find the equipment, however, how would I go about getting an LOA from CAT with their letter? Again, that is, from the consulting perspective, Jaquel, what I recommend that you book a session with me, because I know exactly how you can handle that and cover and cross that bridge. Book a session and we can talk anything and everything related to how you can develop that vendor. But it's great that you're in that space, because that's the kind of thought process that you got to have. But then there are some, 20 years of experience of how to leverage and work with manufacturers is where you'll be able to tune in and tap in with me on that, Jaquel. So looking forward to hearing from you offline as it relates to that, but I definitely can assist you in that area. All right. And let's see here. She has another question that popped up on the screen. A little bit more context. Caterpillar is a bigger company, and they will push you to their distributors. Of course, a lot of the big companies, whether they be 3M, DuPont, Sherman Williams, if you're into the painting aspects of it, a lot of times those big OEMs, they've been around for over 100 years, and they pretty much know how to make money. And so they have what's called master distributors, tier 1 distributors that they'll literally cut up the world into chunks, and then they have their go-to sources of relationships that have been forged well before our day, of where they will send you in order to purchase their products. So then again, it becomes, how do you cultivate relationships with those vendors and be able to work with them in order to gain access to the best wholesale pricing in the federal contracting space. All right. So the rest of her question says, I would like to get a letter of authorization, which is LOA, from the distributor, but don't I need one from Caterpillar themselves? And again, this all links back to you and I having a one-on-one where we can talk everything related to this question, because it's a bigger piece. I have to have a little bit more information as it relates to it, but I think I know a solution to your dilemma, because I've crossed that bridge many, many times in my career in working with the DLA and sourcing manufacturers to support our efforts with the DLA. All right, fantastic. And she has another comment here that pops up on the screen. She says, thank you. I'm booking a session now, and we'll talk about it for sure. All right, fantastic. Thank you, Jaquel. Thank you. Thank you for booking the session. Believe you me, for all of those that have booked sessions with me, I always give you more than what you're asking for in the delivery, because I really want to empower small businesses to do well in the federal contracting space, because guess what? The DLA needs us. They need it. Like I said, the DLA is hiring, right? And so content creators in this space like myself, as well as other folks that are talking DLA, we have the knowledge base to support the DLA, and fantastic to you, Jaquel. So I'm looking forward to definitely speaking with you. And let me field another question here before I move on with the rest of my presentation. We have Sherry Johnson says, I have a CEC co-track with DLA, but I see a better advantage in having a VMI. What are your thoughts? Okay, I don't want to make a mistake on the acronyms, and so if you could, let me know what the abbreviations are there, so I can make sure, especially for people who are new to the channel, new to the content, it would be good to kind of know what the initials are there, because I'm not exactly sure what that is. So pop that back in the chat for me there, Sherry, and I'll be sure to field that question. All right, and moving on my presentation here. Number four. After you do the outreach to your vendors, again, like I said, don't be shy. The squeaky wheel always gets the oil. So you want to communicate with your vendors. You want to build relationships and trust. And that's the only way you can do that is, like I said, putting skin to skin. You want to shake hands, kiss babies and shake hands is how you really 10x your business in this space, and locking down the lane and building that trust and that relationship to gain access to those products at a really affordable price that you will have enough margin to sustain a successful DLA contracting business. And so number four, meet and greet. That's just kind of that's the cousin of outreach. You want to meet and greet. You want to schedule company capability briefings. This is how you do it. Whether again, we're post-pandemic. A lot of companies have shifted to, the Microsoft Teams meetings or the Zoom calls, which is all above board. That this stuff works. Folks are, with the 3 years in that pandemic, it really taught and changed the whole landscape of federal contracting, where folks are really saying, hey, that works. We can get to know you. We don't have to necessarily touch your hand, but hey, I'm a little old school. I'm a 70s baby. So I still subscribe to the whole concept of putting skin to skin. Just FYI, guys, I'm here in Missouri, and we source a new manufacturing partner that's based about an hour outside of St. Louis. And I literally came to St. Louis with a mission to go and meet this particular manufacturer. And, I scheduled a meeting to basically walk through their warehouse and look at their machinery and see, the quality and the type of facilities they had. I mean, they were just ecstatic about having me come into their facility. And it was great, to basically not only see it, be there in the building with them to understand what their true capabilities were, because this company doesn't focus on federal contracting. Right. And so we're able to bring that information back home and say, okay, great. We know what this vendor is all about. We've been able to not only literally touch their facility, their brick and mortar facility, but we put skin to skin with the decision makers within the company. And we were able to establish a trust. And so they kind of know who we are. We know who they are. So having those capability briefings are paramount in building your product vendor base. All right. So again, number one, looking at focusing your product categories, sourcing vendors that are in your backyard. Here I am in St. Louis. There's a vendor an hour outside of my backyard. I'm still doing the same exact processes that I've been doing for the past 20 years. And this is how you build your product vendor base. All right. And number five, you want to seek DLA training and coaching. All right. Strategic alignment. I talk about this in all of my presentations because it's just so a no-brainer to me as to why people would understand that, hey, you want to find subject matter experts, people that have the receipts and people who are offering you a seat at the table. Not many companies open up their coffers and say, hey, come on in. Let me connect with you. Let me spend a little bit in building a business development consulting division within our company to help other companies along the way. Gain access to this, guys. If you find companies that are willing to coach you and become mentors, sign up. Why not? The worst case scenario is you learn something. And then from there, you take it based on where you're at, what season you're in your business, and you can kind of grow that. Why skin your knee and bump your head? When you can gain access to folks that really want to help. And hopefully by looking at my catalog of videos, because the other day I was looking at it, I was like, man, I got over 200 videos in my catalog. I've just kind of gone YouTube crazy with it, but in a good way, because I really enjoy this space that I'm in. And hopefully you guys can kind of see it just reverberating off of your video screens there when you watch some of my content. I'm really in this zone. I'm in this season, and I'm opening up the door to gain access for you guys to gain access to me, to help you with your DLA journey, as well as your whole entire federal contracting journey. So fantastic to that. And let's see here. We got another question that's on the screen there from Sherry. She says the Defense Logistics Agency DLA issues corporate ex agency or exigency. I don't know what that means. Contracts for medical, surgical, and veterinarian items. Okay, all right. So, yeah, I'm not really familiar with the CEC, and so hey, so your original question was, do I have a better advantage in having a VMI? What does the VMI stand for? Oh, a vendor managed. Okay, vendor managed is what she says. Let me put this on the screen there. And yeah, I'm butchering the X agency, I guess. Exigency. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce that. But yeah, so she's saying, you wondering, do you have a better shot at those types of contracts? I'm not exactly sure, because we're not necessarily like pursuing the CECs. That's not a direction or a lane that our company is in, Sherry. So I'm not exactly sure how to handle that question, but I would recommend that you reach out to DLA Medical and the Office of Small Business Programs, and they should definitely have some support there to talk with you as it relates to CEC and vendor managed contract opportunities. They more than likely will push you to one of the Apex accelerators in your area. But again, start with the DLA, and then kind of see what kind of information you can gather from there. And then you take it from the DLA, and then and take it to the Apex, and then kind of, pull it all together and see if you can get some answers there. But unfortunately, I don't have any knowledge about the CEC. You see, I'm having a hard time even pronouncing it. So yeah, hopefully that can kind of shed a little light on how you might be able to get answers to your question there. All right, cool. And let's see here. Jaquel says, last of the G's. Yes, last of the OGs. Yeah, a 70s baby. This is where we are, Hey, don't let the gray fool you. Yeah. But yeah, I've been in this space for quite some time, and I consider myself an OG in the space for sure. And it's just great to be able to reach out to you guys and help you out at this level. All right. Hey, what I'm going to do here is post in the chat a link for those of you, because it looks like we have 16 concurrent viewers in the building and only 5 likes. You guys are not liking the presentation. This is look at this slide. This is fantastic. This is what a lot of folks are asking me. And I'm putting it on the wax. It's right there. The 5 top ways to build your vendor product, your product vendor base. These are it. If you're able to implement these 5 steps, I think you're going to see, a definite shift in your access to the right products at the right price, at the right availability in support of DLA solicitation, DLA contract awards. All right. So yeah. All right. Good. We got some more likes that just shot up. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate that, guys. It gets the algorithm cooking. It's a little spice in this pot of this DLA brew that I'm brewing. That little, salt and pepper shaker definitely pushes the content out to a broader audience. So I really appreciate that. Hey, if I have any Brigadier General members or any Patreon members in my Patreon community, and as well as the paid membership for my DLA channel, for this YouTube channel, I should say, feel free to take a look at the community forum on both YouTube and Patreon. I have a link that I put in there specifically for my StreamYard. Click that link. That'll bring you over into my StreamYard area here, and I'll see that you guys are in the building, and I'll be ready to talk anything and everything related to your questions and comments that you may have with DLA. Again, For those of you who may be on the fence and trying to see if you want to join the Brigadier General community, I also put the link in the chat below. Click that link. Go ahead and get engaged today, because you will gain immediate access to be a part of the closed circuit community, because I'll be over that space until about 1 o'clock today. So that's about an hour and a half that I'll be hanging out in that space, just waiting on folks to kind of show up, because I'm finding that some of my Patreon members are not available at the time where I go live, but they may come in toward the very end and pop a question in. So I'll be hanging out there until about 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. So as you guys are kind of thinking about it, and the best benefit, the best, bang for your buck as relates to gaining access to my knowledge base is to have a DLA solicitation that you're going after, some national stock numbers that you're going after, or any questions like Ms. Sherry put on the screen there, the CEC. I don't know directly, because I don't have experience with it, but we'll definitely, like in the Brigadier General, the closed circuit community, we'll be able to cam up and mic up, and we would get on one of the DLA websites, and we would do a little investigation and see if I can shed some light of how I would pursue getting more information about the CEC as it relates to that. So take a look in the chat. You'll find the link there. And if I have any Brigadier Generals in the building or Patreon members in the building, feel free to drop me a chat and let me know that you're in the building. And click that link and come over here in StreamYard, and we'll take it from there. So I got a little bit more left for you guys. A lot of folks saying, hey, how do you kind of bring all this information together, these 5 steps? And you guys hear me talk about SEI Global, now Intertek Inform. So SEI Global, Intertek Inform, formerly SEI Global, same exact product, same solution, just a different name. SEI Global was purchased by Intertek Inform this year, and so they're doing a little bit of a rebranding, but they still offer the software Logicom and Opportunity Manager. I talk a lot about that, and you guys will see me using third-party software in order to really do a deep dive into national stock numbers, to understand to do the competitor analysis, to understand who the OEMs are behind the national stock number, to get technical specifications, whether it be drawings or tech specs that that gives you the length, weight, height, dimensions, color, form, all that good stuff that you'll need to be empowered with in order to know exactly how to properly source the military version of those products. Because keep in mind, Uncle Sam, working with the U.S. military, sometimes you have to have military grade products because of just the different areas of the world that those products may wind up in. And so having an understanding, access to the knowledge base is how you leverage these top five ways to build your product vendor base. And it's really, about information and having access to it. So Intertek Inform is a great portal, a great software tool that gets you access to additional information, so that when you go knocking on your vendor's door, that if they ask you a question, you don't look kind of dumbfounded. No one wants to spend time trying to teach you something. You have to bring some value. You are a value-added reseller as it relates to products that you're producing or distributing or providing in support of the U.S. military. So you have to have access to information. He who has access to the information, he who knows, wins. All right. So Intertek Inform is something that it's a software that we use in-house, and I highly recommend you guys consider it to properly leverage your way of building your product vendor base. Now, if you're interested in learning more about Intertek Inform, you're interested in learning more about the masterclass I offer, or how to even get more involved with contracted consults with me. A lot of folks say, hey, Kiwi, are your available masterclasses right? Are they right for you? And I would say the best way to figure that out is to book a session with me, 15-minute pre-screening phone call. I open my schedule up. There's a link in the chat right now. You click that link. I think that's the last comment that I put in the chat. You click that link, and you can literally schedule a one-on-one with me. It's a pre-screening phone call where I'll learn a little bit more about you, learn about where your business is, the season that you're in, and be able to give you a little guidance if I think a masterclass may be of assistance to you, or a prepaid business consultation with me may also provide more value to your business. It all depends on where you are in your federal contracting journey. But a lot of times, I think that this is going to be paramount for you to get involved at this level. 15 minutes, trust me, I've talked so much to people, I'll be able to figure out if the DLA is right for you and a direction that I would recommend that you may pursue to help 10x your business. And I have the banner here talking about, I did a little, I think I had about 3 or 4 videos talking about the SBA EIDL loan debacle. And, if you're in that situation as a federal contractor and you've taken advantage of those EIDL loans and your loan has been referred to the U.S. Treasury and has pretty much crippled your business in doing federal contracting, because guess what? Any federal payments that come to you are getting confiscated. If you're in that position, reach out to me for a 15-minute pre-screening phone call so I can learn a little bit more about your business and the situation you're in, because I have a masterclass that will help you get your company out of the Treasury Offset Program and back into the SBA EIDL loan program so that you will be able to receive federal contract payments. All right. So if that's something that you are a mountain that you're climbing, reach out to yours truly, the DLA Guru, and I can definitely assist you with that. And last but not least, join the members only CMCC members only side of my channel. Looks like Sherry has definitely joined it, taking advantage of some of the commander level member closed circuit videos that I have out there that are really great deep dives from talking to real DLA vendors who have asked real life questions, and I've been able to answer those questions to help 10x their businesses. So you'll be able to gain access to that by signing up as a commander level member of my CMCC channel. And by all means, I always talk about my brigadier generals. I love my brigadier generals because we talk anything and everything related to DLA, because you can cam up and mic up, talk with me about it. So I highly recommend, if you're really, really serious about the DLA and you want to gain access to this fantastic knowledge base that's under my cap, in between my ears, this is how you would definitely connect with me. And yes. Thank you for watching today. I was, again, I just look forward to these live streams because it's off the cuffs. I'm just, just building wide fly it. And I love the interaction and the engagement from all the folks that are in the comment section there, and the likes that come in, and the emails that I get where people are just thanking me for my videos, and the super chats that come in as well. I think I probably had about 6 or 7 super chats since I've launched my YouTube channel. And so I always appreciate if you guys send me a little bit of a super chat to say, hey, DLA Guru, thank you. You answered a question that I, had been kind of like bothering me for a while. Hey, a little super chat, $2 here, $5 here, $100 here. It always definitely goes a long way with me because it just fuels me to continue to go. As you guys know, I got over 200 videos in my catalog, and I really get a high out of, being in this space and out of helping people. And so any love that you can share to the DLA Guru by way of a super chat or a Cash App or a Venmo donation to my channel only helps to stimulate the channel growth and keeps me trucking along and cooking in this DLA kitchen in order to support you with your DLA journey. Oh, it looks like we got another comment that just hit. All right, we got A&M in the building. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give all my comments a round of applause. Thank you. I love my little applause button. This is pretty awesome. But A&M says, if you're not in default on an EIDL loan, can the government contracts still work? Yeah, of course. If you're not in default, yeah. So long as you're not in default, yeah, you would be able to receive federal payments. And the way that you'll know if you have gotten jammed up, you'll get an email. It looks like a spam email from SAM.gov that will say, hey, your business has been referred to is currently in the offset program. So if you get that email, I think the subject header says something like subject to offset or something like that. If you see that, then that means you're not going to receive any more federal payments. So as long as you're not in default, you should be good to go. And again, feel free to click that link. I'm not sure if hopefully I'm answering your question exactly, but if you have a direct question and you're having some issue with your loan, A&M, feel free to book a 15-minute call with me, and I would definitely be able to shed some light to help you navigate that unfortunate situation that the SBA has gotten a ton of Americans and small businesses and federal contractors, just within a pickle as relates to the EIDL loan debacle. All right. And let's see here. We got Brother James in the building. Brother James, what up? What up, James? All right, let me go ahead and give you a round of applause. Brother James has been with me as a subscriber. Hey, Brother James, I remember you used to be commander level. I guess you took advantage of all that content and you're just, hey, I don't need that anymore. Let me just, just work with some of the comments that are coming in the comment section, which is fine. But Brother James, let me know, man. It says, what's up, Kiwi? Got a package stuck in customs to Abu Dhabi, but working it out right now. Oh, man, you got it caught in customs. Interesting. I'd really be interested in learning more about like what type of service, what freight forwarder did you use? Was it DHL? Did you use FedEx or UPS? Because typically, those, unless you use someone that wasn't one of the big three, that might be some of the issues that you might be experiencing. Let me know which freight forwarder you use for your international shipment. All right, that'll be good to drop in the comment there. Okay, and we got Miss Natalie Davis from Av Air in the building. Yes, so Natalie Davis, thank you for the comment. Av Air is one of our graduates of one of my masterclass. I think you guys took advantage of the 360-degree masterclass, Natalie, and thank you for that. Thank you. Let me go ahead and give her applause. And thank you for dropping a comment in the chat there, Natalie. Natalie and I have talked one-on-one, talked a little bit about her business and how I could definitely support and give some nuggets on how they could develop their DLA contracting division within their company. And I think Natalie, from some of the emails I've gotten, has gotten a lot of guidance and a lot of support, and has helped you do well for your company, Natalie. So thank you for that chat. Thank you for the comment. I appreciate that. And fantastic. Thank you. Let's see here. We got Brother James. He says UPS. So you use UPS, huh? UPS. Typically, UPS doesn't really give you a lot of problems, but we have never shipped to Abu Dhabi. We've shipped to Israel. I know we've shipped to Afghanistan in the past, and we've shipped into Europe. And so we've never had issues with customs. So, hey, man, I'm not sure if I can help you. I would say, hey, book a session with me. We can cam up and mic up, James, and talk a little bit about it. Because, hey, man, you don't want to get your stuff caught up in customs, because guess what? Your vendors, the clock is ticking. You can't get paid until the DLA receives that, those products, and you're able to successfully, invoice them in WAF. So the more time is ticking, the more, you are, on that time of that, especially if you have net 30 terms with your vendors they want to get paid in 30 days. They don't like delays, because those delays make having access to, let me go ahead and take a couple of slides back here for those who new the latecomers to the content here. Today was the top 5 ways to build your product vendor base. But yeah, man, if you guys are forging these relationships, and these vendors, they want to get paid, and so they don't care about any issues you have with customs, or issues that the DLA has with their products being received and not being labeled or packaged correctly. Your vendors don't care about that. That is you as a value-added reseller. That's your your cost of doing business, right? And so they expect to be paid on time. Anyway, so if you guys are running into any of those types of issues, go ahead and reach out to the DLA guru, because I'm sure I could shed some light on some hacks on how you may be able to navigate out of stormy seas as it relates to some of the issues you have just being a prime vendor with DLA contracts. So you guys know where to find me. Everything is in the chat there. Of course, you'll see below my chin there, fed.contracting@nmsupply.com. That's definitely how you reach out to me. That's how you find me as it relates to contacting with me. Send me an email. Let me know what your issue is, what your condition is, and I will definitely be able to shed some light on how you guys can connect with me on a more one-on-one basis. Hey, so we don't have any brigadier generals yet in the building, but I am getting to the end of my public forum message today for those of you in the public forum there. So if you have, I'll field a couple more questions. If you guys have a question before I fade to black, and open up my closed circuit community as my brigadier generals and Patreon members begin to uh, link with me in the StreamYard here. Do you have any questions in the public community there? Got a national stock number, maybe? You guys got any other issues that you might be fighting through? Feel free to drop it in there. Let's see here. Brother James, I already got another comment here. He says, yeah, I have 30 days left to get them unstuck. My DLA contract is actively working, or contact, I'm sorry, is actively working with UPS to help figure out the issue. Hey guys, by the way, if you find me reading these comments and I'm kind of missing some words, I got to get some new lenses, these glasses here, man, because I'm like squinting and trying to figure out what the world English is written there. But he says, my DLA contact is actively working with UPS to help figure out the issue. Okay, cool. All right. So you got some irons in the fire, or you got some folks working with you there. Yeah, again, we've never shipped to Abu Dhabi. Hey, kudos to you, James, for even getting the they call those foreign military sale FMS contracts, where you're shipping direct to DLA customers or DLA depots overseas. So those are pretty cool, exciting contracts to get, and typically very lucrative as well, because not a lot of companies like to get into the international shipping space. So kudos to you, James, for taking the charge, man, taking on that risk and getting that done. Yeah, man, it looks like I got a lot of loves going up. I can see a lot of hearts popping. Hey, you guys are loving me. Thank you. I appreciate the hearts coming in. Hey, be sure to send me some likes as well. The hearts and the likes, all the engagement works very well in this space. Hopefully you guys really enjoyed the presentation today. Hopefully you did. I really enjoyed presenting it. So again, the top 5 ways to build your product vendor base. For those of you who may be kind of chiming in a little bit late to the video, I'll definitely have this on a replay for the public community. So, give me a couple of days, because I typically like to do a little editing on it, and then I'll kind of repurpose it back out there for those of you who may have missed the first part of it. But thanks again for showing up and providing the love in this YouTube streets to support the DLA Guru. And hopefully you guys are definitely getting a lot of information and helping to 10x your business in the YouTube university community. But for those of you who are really serious about the DLA and want to find ways to 10x your business, connecting with mentors and consulting and getting them access to that knowledge base will definitely help you along your DLA journey. All right, so without any further ado, I don't have any more comments coming in there. I'm gonna go ahead and push this to our closed circuit, members only, and I'll be hanging out there for about another hour, maybe hour and 10 minutes or so, until about 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. So for those of you who may be interested in connecting with me, again, if you upgrade to the Brigadier General level membership, you'll find in the community forum strictly for your Brigadier Generals, the link that shows the StreamYard, the StreamYard link that will bring you over here to the StreamYard space. So I'll be hanging out here again for about another hour and 10 minutes or so. So feel free to meet me over there. So until I see you guys again, every 2 weeks, I do my bi-monthly pre-scheduled live stream. So I'll see you guys at the top.
Thanks again for watching, and for tuning in to this exciting announcement. I'm Parker Winslow, signing out.